Omar Khan is a damn genius. And Omar Khan, I mean, when he first became our GM, the thing that I was most worried about him was is that he can't scout and that he can't draft well. I mean, this is his second draft, and he's 2 for 2. Easily. 2 for 2. Because let me tell you, when not only the fan base is giving the Steelers positive reviews and positive grades for this draft, but pundits are as well, and draft experts and draft analysts are as well. You know, this has all the potential to be the best draft class the Steelers have had probably since 2004. And that's no exaggeration. What's going on, everybody? I am Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Link is down in the box below. So this is my 2024 Steelers recap. As I said, I tried to get it out yesterday after the Steelers made their 195th pick, but, you know, life gets in the way. I was hanging out with my girlfriend all day yesterday, so now I have time to do it right now. So this is my recap for the 2024 Steelers draft. I mean, when you triple dip and you triple down on offensive line for this entire draft, it just shows you that the Steelers and Omar Khan in general are really serious about making this team better. Because let me tell you, with the playability and the play style that Russell Wilson and Fields have, with them being two of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league over the course of the past 3 seasons. As a matter of fact, Russell Wilson's been the most sacked quarterback in the league since 2021. And Justin Fields has gotten sacked a decent amount of times as well. It just shows you that, you know, how seriously the Steelers addressed their biggest need coming into the draft, which was O-line. Yeah, we needed defensive backs as well. We could use another receiver. In my opinion, defensive line. But here's the thing. Football is won in the trenches, and the Steelers beefed up the O-line with guys full of physicality, grit, brutality, and they are just going to win every single line. They're going to win a lot of the line of scrimmage battles, and I can't wait to see them. So, without further ado, this is my recap for the 2024 draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and starting right off the bat with the 20th overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle out of Washington. The more I see this pick, the more I love it. This kid has got great athleticism, and the only real thing is about, other than his leg, he does have an injury history with his legs. Where does he really play as far as the O-line goes? I mean, there's no doubt that he's going to be a week 1 starter, in my opinion, but where do we put him at? Like, you could put him at left tackle or right tackle. He never really played right tackle in college, from what I understand. But to me, it seems like he's more natural than Broderick Jones at the right tackle position. And I know Broderick Jones has really flourished a little bit on the right side. But when you're getting a guy like Troy Fautanu, who protects blind sides real well because he had a left-handed quarterback in college, I don't really think that's going to be much of an issue. It's going to be a nice fluid transition from him going to the right side. And he does have cross-training experience as well because of his physicality and because he is able to wrestle off a lot of the defenders as far as the line of scrimmage battles goes. I really like this pick. You know, I know his size is a little concerning as well, but I really don't think that's a factor at all. This guy is able to move outside the pocket so well, and he can stave off defenders really well. He's just so strong, and he just knows what it means to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Why is that? Because he grew up an avid fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. More specifically, he was a fan of my favorite Steeler of all time, and Troy Polamalu. So, yeah, on one hand, you're getting another Troy on this team who has another hard last name to pronounce. but you're also getting another Troy on this team who knows what it means to be a Pittsburgh Steeler because he grew up watching them and he grew up a fan of them. So I got no doubt in my mind, even though he is small, even though that he was the smallest tackle in the draft, there's no doubt this guy's going to be a significant force on this offensive line. I see him being more on the right side, and you put Broderick Jones on the left side. But any way you look at it, for right now, your O-line is most likely going to be Broderick Jones on the left, on a left tackle. James Daniels for right now at left guard. I'll get more into that in a little bit. And then our second pick, who I'm going to get to in a little bit, is going to be center. Right guard for right now is Isaac Seumalo. Again, I'll get into that a little bit more. And at right tackle, it's going to be Troy Fautanu. So great pick right here. He has all the potential to be a franchise player. I love this pick, man. I absolutely love it. Would I have liked Jackson Powers Johnson? Yes, but the thing is, he fell down due to his concussion history. And I think it was wise for the Steelers to let him walk because the Raiders took him up in the second round, I believe. But yeah, Troy Fautanu, great pick right here. Then with the 51st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Zach Frazier, center out of West Virginia. This is still my favorite pick that we did, and I think it's going to be my favorite pick for this draft class, man. Because here's the thing, like a lot of Steeler fans were like, oh, we passed on wide receivers. You know, we passed on A.D. Mitchell. Oh, we passed on one of those great defensive backs that we could have used. I mean, true, it would have been nice to have one of them, but I counter that with this. If you don't get Zach Frazier, who was the most pure center in the draft, a ton of experience, and a lot of people saying that he was the best center in the draft, and center is the biggest issue that you have because Mason Cole is gone, Kendrick Green was a total bum, and Troy Fautanu never played center. Who's going to be your center? The Steelers would be idiotic to pass on this guy at 51. And you took him. This is a great pick right here. Excellent value. Because on one hand, you're getting a guy who not only played center and has a little bit of guard experience as well. You're getting a guy who was a heavyweight champion wrestler in high school. So that alone is enough for a lot of the fan base to like this guy because he's going to be able to win in the trenches. He was a literal wrestler. He's literally going to be wrestling off defenders. He has every intangible in the book to win one-on-one matchups. He's a great, athletic, strong center, and I love this pick so much. Because like I said, Kendrick Green and Mason Cole, huge mistakes. And we've really been looking for that center since Marquise Pouncey retired. And the best thing that I like about this pick in general is now that you go O-line with your first two picks in the draft, you filled 3 holes on that offensive line pretty much. Because here's the thing. Fautanu is listed as a tackle, but he has guard experience as well. Frazier is listed as a center, and he also has guard experience. So right there, you're pretty much filling in 3 holes on the offensive line right there. This is a fantastic pick. I don't know how any Steeler fan cannot like the pick just because we didn't get a receiver or a defensive back at 51 when we had the chance to. Like I said, would I have liked it? Of course I would have. But this guy was too good to pass on. You got literally no options at center if you were going to pass on him. And that's what I counter that with. Excellent pick right here. I can't wait to see this guy at center. No doubt in my mind he's going to be a week 1 starter. Then with the 84th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan. Now, I really like this pick as well, but the thing that really prevents me from saying that I love it is that it was a Mike Tomlin pick, so you know that we're going to be seeing this guy a lot in the slot. And other than, because of that, we still really don't have a guy who's purely able to play opposite of George Pickens as the number 2, because this guy is going to be in the slot working more often than not. And that's what kind of docks me from saying that I love this pick, but it's still, I think it's a really decent pick. Mike Tomlin does have a lot of knowledge when it comes to slot receivers, and his interest was there. He saw him in the Senior Bowl going up against some of the best defensive backs in college, and he was beating them on a lot of plays. So you know that this guy is going to have a very good X factor when it comes to route running. And being that he is going to be used as a slot receiver, you know that he's going to be a natural blocker. You know that he's going to be a very good route runner, which fills in for Deontay Johnson's void. I mean, say what you want about Deontay Johnson, how he can't catch, but Deontay Johnson's route running was so crisp. And you pretty much replace that with this guy right here. And unlike Deontay Johnson, Roman Wilson has great catchability. He hardly ever drops any passes. He comes up with a lot of really good catches, and he's an end zone magnet as well. He had 12 touchdowns last year with Michigan, and Michigan had a run-heavy offensive scheme. Guess where he's headed? He's headed to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just got an offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith. And what does Arthur Smith like to implement a lot? The run game. So it's basically like he never even left Michigan. This is a really good pick. And like I said, his route running is going to make a huge difference in this scheme right here. Because unlike George Pickens, who is very good with the contested catches, I'm not knocking that at all. Pickens is awesome when it comes to contested catches. You don't got to worry about that with Roman Wilson, because his route running is going to throw a lot of the defense off guard. Now, would I like the Steelers to have gotten a wide receiver that can immediately play, opposite of George Pickens? Yes, I would have. And I, for one, am not completely in love with the slot receiver option, but Roman Wilson does have experience with playing outside of the slot of the slot. So I don't think he'll immediately be thrown in that, but he's shown that he can play outside of the slot. And I think he can evolve into that number 2 option right there as he progresses. But if you want to be safe with him, put him in the slot at first, see how he does there, and then maybe experiment with him, putting him on the outside. But overall, I think this is a really good pick. Again, the only thing that really docks me from giving it a better report is that he's not an immediate impact when it comes to playing outside, but I can't hate on this pick too much. So yeah, Roman Wilson, I welcome him on over to the Steelers, man. Then with the 98th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, a lot of people are saying that this might be the steal of the draft right here, and it is not hard to disagree. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Payton Wilson, linebacker out of NC State. Now, yes, he does have a lot of injury history. He's even had ACL injuries at one point. He did have that shoulder surgery that took him out for the whole season. But here's the thing. Since 2021, this kid has been as healthy as a horse. And again, I got no doubt he's going to be a week 1 starter. He doesn't even have an ACL anymore. And he's been making plays without it. Steeler fans, you got to remember, Hines Ward didn't have an ACL either. You can't tear what you don't got. So I'm not really concerned about that. And putting him in this inside linebacking core alongside Patrick Queen, who also locks down receivers. Defenses, look out. Future defenses, look out for these two right here. I am salivating over this. And the reason that he dropped all the way to 98 is because of his injury history. But this kid is, again, he's just too good to pass on. He was another top 30 visit. He was projected at one point to be a late first rounder or early second rounder. This was an absolute highway robbery right here. And you're looking at a guy who's been healthy for the better part of 3 years. And it definitely boosts up another need that the Steelers had, because if you remember, part of the reason why the defense struggled towards the final phases of the season was because our interior linebacking core was depleted. We were missing guys. And even recently, some people were just not making the cut at all. You know, and for the guys that are making plays, like Landon Roberts, who I have no doubt is going to be alongside Patrick Queen for a lot of this season as well, Patrick Queen's projected to be a free agent. So if we do let Landon Roberts walk, guess what? We have our answer for him in Payton Wilson. We got a guy who adds speed to this inside linebacking core like Patrick Queen does. He's a do-it-all guy. He's an all-down linebacker like Patrick Queen is. He locks down receivers like Patrick Queen does. And he's the perfect complement to him. And if he stays healthy, and yes, I'm saying that is an if, which he has done for 3 years now, this right here is going to make our linebacking core as good as I've seen it in about a decade. This is such a great pick right here. Definition of high risk, high reward. Because yes, the injury, but oh man, when this guy's healthy, he's definitely on his A game. He is a dog. He is a workhorse. He's an engine. So yeah, defenses, look out. Payton Wilson, amazing pick right here. I cannot believe he fell down to 98. Then, with the 119th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Mason McCormick, offensive lineman out of South Dakota State. Now, at first, this pick kind of surprised me a little bit. And at first, I didn't really understand it, because I was like, oh, you know, we got our center and we got another offensive tackle with our first 2 picks. Great. Offensive line's good. Now let's go defensive back. Now let's go wide receiver. Let's maybe even go safety. But in comes Mason McCormick. And the more I looked into it, the more it made sense to me. Because not only are you getting a depth piece right here, but Isaac Seumalo at right guard is going to be in his early 30s soon. He's getting up there in age, and he's in the second year of a 3-year contract with us. So if we do end up cutting him, guess what? It's going to save us $8 million in cap space, and we have our answer at Mason McCormick, who can play at a natural left guard position, even if we choose to move on from Seumalo or even James Daniels if a long-term signing's in the works with him. This was a great pick as well. So we have our answer right there. And you're looking at just another productive guy. Allowed only 2 sacks. He has a great high motor. He's quick off the snap. Just a natural guard, man. And I think this guy, again, is just going to be another long-term guy and another week 1 starter. I mean, Omar Khan just drilled these first 5 picks. In my opinion, they're all week 1 starters. They're all long-term options, and they're all there to make the team better. They're all there. They're all young for the better of this team. Offensive line especially. Omar Khan just absolutely nailed these first 5 picks, man. I really like this Mason McCormick pick. I really do. I think for right now, he's going to be a depth piece and maybe compete with James Daniels a little bit and take over Isaac Seumalo when he's gone. But I potentially do see Mason McCormick being a starter, you know, on the 53 as well. It's really 50-50 with me. It can go either way. But yeah, I like this Mason McCormick pick. And then the final 2 picks, I like them, but I do have a couple of things to say about it. So with the 178th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Logan Lee, defensive end out of Iowa. Now, at first, I like it because I made a video about a month and a half ago saying that the Steelers need to get more youth on that defensive line because let's face it, Cam Hayward is getting up there in age, and this actually might be his last season with us. And because, like I mentioned before, with Payton Wilson, a lot of these guys on the defensive line were either rentals or they just haven't worked out so well. I mean, guys like Cam Hayward, like I said, he's getting up there in age. I don't see him being on the team for much longer. Larry Ogunjobi, same deal as him. Landon Roberts is going to be a free agent soon, and Cole Holcomb, he is productive, but he's going to become a cap casualty soon. This means Isaiah Loudermilk and DeMarvin Leal are gone. But at the same time, so that's what I like. You know, you're getting another defensive end, but he's looking more so much as like a depth piece for right now and a guy that you can put on special teams. And I think he needs to gain some muscle mass as well. He is a little small for a defensive end, especially for someone that you're going to put in a 3-4 type of scheme defense right there. But if you ask me, I really do think that the Steelers do have good run stuffers already with Keanu Benton that we got last year. We also have that with Armon Watts, who I'd like to see get more playing time, and I'd like to see that with Montravius Adams as well. So there you go right there. But Logan Lee, overall, you're looking at a good pass rusher, and he's got a really good motor as well. And that's just what the Steelers have just went for so much in this draft. Guys that are quick on their feet, guys that are good, good physical players, and guys that are just going to punch you in the gut and kick you in the teeth right away. And I think that's what Logan Lee has the intangibles to do. I think he just needs to work out more this offseason, gain some more weight and muscle. And I think that you're looking at a guy who could potentially be a replacement for Cam Hayward when he's gone. But like I said, I counter that with saying we have that with Keanu Benton. We have that with Armon Watts. We have that with Montravius Adams. To me, this just means that Isaiah Loudermilk and DeMarvin Leal are gone, while Logan Lee is going to probably start off with special teams for a little bit. But yeah, I like the pick, but I just don't think it's completely necessary for right now. But I do like it. Pretty much all Logan Lee does is just change the logo on his helmet because Iowa pretty much has the same logos and the same colors as the Steelers do. So that's really all Logan Lee has to do. But yeah, Logan Lee's a Pittsburgh Steeler. And then rounding it out with the 195th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ryan Watts, corner out of Texas. So this is another interesting pick right here. I think this guy is a very interesting player in our defensive backfield right here. And I think, again, this is what the Steelers were going for. You're getting a good big body corner right here. We did that last year with JPJ and Corey Trice. But I think if Corey Trice, knock on wood, were to get injured again, hopefully he does not get injured again. That's why I say knock on wood. I think you have his answer in Ryan Watts. This guy is a very versatile player. And again, it's something that Mike Tomlin has really shown a lot of interest in over his course of his career as being head coach of the Steelers. The thing that throws me off with him is that he's a little slow, but he's a decent enough depth piece for sub packages. And I think that's what the Steelers are going to mainly use him for. They could drop him in at the slot corner position for the time being, but also he can show that he's played a lot of strong safety roles as well. And, again, it's looking like another good run defender right here. But like I said, we already got that with our defensive line. But, stopping the run was something that the Steelers had a lot of issues with. And I think more help with that couldn't hurt a whole lot. But, yeah, I really don't know what the issue is or who the person is going to truly be with JPJ with someone playing opposite of JPJ. But I think there's going to be a lot of competition in training camp. I think there's going to be a lot of, tryouts for that. But, I wouldn't throw Ryan Watts out completely. I think he has the intangibles to do it. And again, versatility goes a long way, especially in the NFL nowadays. And I think Ryan Watts is a really good pick. Big body guy, sub packages, disguises. He can play strong safety positions. He can play in the slot for the time being. but I don't know if it's going to be a permanent answer for that. But yeah, man, overall, this draft was fantastic. Great job that the Pittsburgh Steelers did. My personal grades, Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier are easy A pluses. Roman Wilson, I give him a B plus because, like I said, it's just a Tomlin pick. It's a predictable one, and it doesn't really give George Pickens an immediate answer of someone playing opposite of him. But I'll give Roman Wilson a B plus because his skill set and how he is as a receiver bumps it up more. Payton Wilson, A, solid A. Mason McCormick, I'm giving that a solid A as well. Logan Lee, I'd probably give that one a B minus, but he has potential to redeem that to a higher grade. And then Ryan Watts, I'm giving that a B plus as well. So overall, I give the Steelers a solid A for this draft, man. They hit pretty much every necessity that they needed, and they got more. They got a lot of, young guys, a lot of physicality guys, and guys who were just meant to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys who were just meant to wear the black and gold. And I'm so ecstatic to see this group of kids in this draft class come out, play on the field, and do their due diligence for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the field, man. Can't wait to see. This was a phenomenal draft. Omar Khan just keeps on delivering, man. Like I said, triple dipping at O-line, getting that beefed up. I know a lot of people were complaining about that. I can't stress it enough, but hey, I mean, you need a strong enough offense, let alone an offensive line to sustain enough drives to rest your defense, is what a lot of people don't understand about us going so heavy with O-line. And I think that's going to make our defense even stronger now because we triple dipped at it. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. How do you think the Steelers did in this draft? I am Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.